So I've been reading the book Atomic Habits and I really like it. So I wrote some notes. I'm gonna add even more notes, but so far I have written notes for chapter 1 and chapter 2 and I wanted to go through them so I can reinforce the ideas and learn it better instead of just passively reading the book. So there are two chapters right now. Chapter 1, The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. Chapter 2, How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. So let's begin with the first chapter, The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. Why small habits make a big difference. The difference a tiny improvement can make over time is astounding. Here's how the math works out. If you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you are done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you will decline nearly down to zero. What starts as a small win or a minor setback accumulates into something much more. Hmm, Interesting idea. So he's saying that tiny, consistent changes that you make every day makes a huge difference because you are making those changes every single day. Going to bed a little late every day, waking up a little late every day, using the phone during commute, or drinking slightly less water every day, or watching slightly more television every day. Those small bad habits, it's easy to make small bad habits, right? But not big bad habits. But when we consistently make small bad habits every single day, they accumulate. They accumulate. And over the course of years or maybe decades, they can have a devastating effect on our lives. That's, I believe, the basic idea. Tiny changes on a regular basis. So we actually need to take an account of what are the small bad habits we are consistently practicing. A lot of people watch television while they are eating. I think that's a very bad habit as well because you don't give your brain time to recover. Even when you are eating, you are constantly stimulating your brain to some external noise. Or the same way, when you are commuting, you think productive. You are being productive by doing by watching TV or social media on a time where you have nothing else to do, but you are not giving your mind time to recharge, and that can actually have a huge impact on your mental health, your attention, your focus, your peace of mind. So downtime is extremely important. Now he says habits are the compound interest of self improvement. Habits are the compound interest of self improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. So the effects multiply. They don't add up, they multiply. So the more good habits you have, the greater return you will get. You are not adding habits, you are multiplying them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. It is only when looking back 2, 5, or perhaps 10 years later that the value of good habits and the cost of bad ones becomes strikingly apparent. Interesting. Yeah, when we look back 5 or 10 years, then we realize how how bad, how horrible bad habits, how the horrible price we had to pay for the bad habits we indulged in, the seemingly innocent small bad habits that everyone does. But why they made a huge difference? Because the results compounded. They didn't add up, they compounded over time. This can be a difficult concept to appreciate in daily life. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter very much in the moment. Exactly. The small changes don't seem to matter very much in the moment. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you are still out of shape. Exactly. If you still go to the gym 3 days in a row, you are still out of shape. In the same way, if you skip gym, if a person is in good physique, skips gym for 3 days in a row, he will still have a good looking body. So that's how I think we rationalize bad habits, because they don't provide immediate bad result the same way we don't want to do good habits because they don't give us an immediate benefit. This can be a difficult concept to appreciate in daily life. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter very much in the moment. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you are still out of shape. If you study Japanese for an hour, you still haven't learned the language. Exactly. Exactly. Learning a language is a very long term goal. Studying every day for an hour for a couple of weeks will not give any tangible results. But this can only be achieved through habit, right? Because it's such a long term goal. If you're not putting effort every single day, you will never reach it. You will never ever reach it if you don't put efforts every day for goals like a good physique or studying a new language or working for your career. Anything internal, anything that changes you from inside, that takes time, because I think that's the biology. That's how we are designed. We can't learn new things overnight, or we can't change our health overnight, because our brain and our body, they have like a time limit, you can say. There's a duration for how long it takes to get in a good physique, or for how long it takes to learn Japanese. But we want results very quickly. That's why we don't put in efforts every day. So it's very important. Unfortunately, the slow pace of transformation also makes it easy to let a bad habit slide. If you eat an unhealthy meal today, the scale doesn't move much. If you procrastinate and put your project off until tomorrow, there will usually be a time to finish it later. A single decision is easy to dismiss. Yeah, but as we learn what a habit is, well, it's a behavior that becomes easy the more you repeat it. That's what a habit is. So when you justify a few bad behaviors like eating an unhealthy meal, you are not only getting the bad result of eating that unhealthy meal today, you are also reinforcing the habit. You are teaching your brain that this behavior is easy. And I think that's what makes habits so dangerous. Whatever you do, next time it will become easier. The brain, we say, the brain loves to optimize whatever we do. The brain loves to optimize whatever we do. It can optimize using phone, it can optimize watching movies, it can optimize eating junk food. That optimization is essentially what a habit is. A habit is something that after so much repetition becomes your second nature. Isn't that what we call second nature? That's why that's why we here says habits are a double-edged sword. Basically, the process of habit formation can be extremely dangerous if you are not careful. It can be extremely dangerous. Bad habits can cut you down just as easily as good habits can build you up. What a habit is a behavior that you repeat, and after repetition, it becomes easier. The first few times you might be enjoying playing video games, but after a couple of months, you won't be actually thinking about playing games. You will be, it will become so that the decision making process will become so easier. You won't even be thinking about making the decision. Whenever you will get time, you will sit and play video games. That's the thing about bad behaviors. You don't perform any action in isolation. You don't perform any action in isolation. You can't choose to do anything you want. Whatever you do is highly influenced by what you did previously. It's highly influenced by, such as eating junk food. When you eat junk food, you don't feel very good. So what would you do after that? You would probably sit down, lay down, watch TV or play video games just like that. You get what you repeat. And you repeat, and the more you repeat something, the easier it becomes to repeat it the next time. So it's not, you are not repeating consciously. You are only making the decision to perform an action the first couple of times. After that, you will be repeating it. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally, bad habits make time your enemy. Okay, so one more thing that I would like to add here, Brian Tracy said, good habits are hard to build but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to build but hard to live with, because good habits actually take some conscious efforts. You won't just be automatically going to gym or picking books to read or eating healthy food. They actually those behaviors actually take some conscious efforts in the first few months. But as we said, whenever you repeat something, it becomes easier the next time. So after the hard decision making of the first couple of months, the good habits will become easier, and they will make your life easy to live with after you have learned good habits. On the contrary, bad habits are easy to build. We don't even think about building bad habits, they just come out of nowhere. Everyone plays video games, everyone go to restaurants once in a while, everyone uses social media. They are easy to build, but once they become easy to do, they make your life hard to live. Once they become easy to do, they make your life hard to live. Once good habits become easy, they make your life easy. So that's the idea of double-edged sword. The process of habit formation can either make your life a terrible, terrible, a very misfortunate one, or you can actually use it to your advantage. You can start performing good actions. They will only be hard in the beginning, but through the idea of habit formation, they will become easier and you will be able to reap the compounding reward of good habits. Hmm. So I think, well, that's the only first part of chapter 1. So we can talk about what progress is really like later.